Like I said about a month ago at the G20 meeting, and a few other times, there have been these protests. Excuse me. These protests that a major amount of police have been at. Just random police, and then you have the city police, the state police, federal FBI agents. Why are they there anyway? But that's the start of it. This is the general concept of authoritarianism, and the more you understand it, the better, because then you start protecting yourself. And in one way, the best way economically for you to start protecting yourself, if you need to do such a thing, which I'm starting to do, is buy silver. Silver's reasonably cheap. Yeah, I didn't talk about the silver price. Right now it's at, well, the last time I checked, last night, I think it was 1740 or something like that. So, and that's per ounce. So 1 ounce, one coin is about $17. It's been up and down between 15 and 18 for the past month at least. I mean, that's as long as I've been following it. So, just, and the reason why you would buy silver or gold is to protect yourself from inflation. It's not really anything more than a hedge bet, in my opinion, at least. People also sell them on the side for, just for profit if they can. Personally, I've been going on eBay, checking out prices there. I've been going on CNN.com and WBZ stuff, just checking prices and everything, So, you just protect yourself, that kind of thing. So, if any of this interests you, I highly suggest you call me, and we can talk. What else? So, okay, so we talked about the idea of secession, but I guess we haven't really gone in depth. Texas threatened it. That really doesn't mean anything, apparently. But like I said last time, New England had a convention, and this was in the early 1800s. New England was threatening to secede from the United States because they felt that the federal government was impeding on their rights as states. And that's very early on in our history. That's only, what, 20 years into our history-ish? That's pretty quick, So if it can happen right after, the major revolution of our society, it can happen anytime, like the idea of a state becoming its own country, or a group of states becoming its own country. And that's exactly what happened during the Civil War. So many southern states seceded from the Union, one at a time. South Carolina was first. They, one at a time, joined this other country, and, it didn't work out for them because the United States, fought and beat them. So, they took them over again. That's it. So, United States is not exactly, in my opinion, the most free country it could have been. If we really had free ideals, then anybody could do almost anything they wanted, as long as they aren't hurting anybody. And specifically the Civil War, the southern states seceded. They didn't hurt anybody. They just had differing views from the United States. The Confederate States of America, I think they were called. They just had different views. I mean, granted, I don't agree with what they were advocating at the time, but still, they should have just been their own country. That's my opinion. There would have been, only 40 states or something in this country. Whatever. I mean, you know what? All I visit is Maine, New Hampshire, and Massachusetts and Connecticut. I probably wouldn't have ever gone in the South. Whatever. So, anyway. Yeah, okay, so here's another good issue. Okay, so this mindset that I have about libertarianism. This is the result of basically bad policies by Bush and Obama. And the two of them basically, well, okay, after 9/11 happened, like I said, we've been in wars ever since. Of course, we've always been in wars ever since probably Roosevelt or something. It's been going on for like 100 years or something. Ever since the Federal Reserve was enacted, and that was in 1913. But I mean, I don't know the exact date of when all these wars have been going on, but basically, World War I, World War II, Somalia, we might as well just try to break Japan and Russia or something. We had the Cold War on Russia, JFK, tried to end that, but I don't know. I could go into speculation about his death as well, but I won't. So basically, we've been in wars ever since the Federal Reserve was instated. And so, like I said, the Federal Reserve creates money out of thin air. It's backed by nothing now. In 1971, it used to be backed by gold. So as the Federal Reserve prints money, we can go into more wars because they can pay for it out of thin air. They can pay for it just randomly. They can go to the Federal Reserve, hey, I want a loan, I want to go to war. Boom, here's your check, go for it. Done. I'm not joking. I mean, it's not exactly that simple, but basically that's the premise. And it's kind of scary, at least to me. So, yeah, I've drifted a little bit, but, okay, so I was talking about how a lot of people my age, I'm 24, people in the age group of, the college kids or high school kids or, people just getting out of college. I've been working for 2 or 3 years now. So, we're all becoming libertarian, or a lot of us are. It's a general principle because, we've seen what's happened with Bush. We've been lied to straight up by Obama. Like everything he said during his campaign was basically a flat-out lie. We'd get out of Afghanistan. We'd get out of Iraq. We'd break down Guantanamo Bay. None of that's happened. And it's a nightmare. It's funny because Obama, the first day he was in office, he signed an executive order to, break up Guantanamo. Didn't happen though. It's still in the process, and even then, I don't think it will happen over the next 4 years. But all of us see these, deceptions, if you will, definitely lies. All of these lies, they just they haven't come to fruition. So all of the liberal base, and I was, Democratic in a way, of course I've never voted until, this governor election thing. But basically, I felt lied to, and like I said, I started looking for a different party. And so I started looking at Ron Paul. He seems pretty, he seems very open-minded, and he seems to be a very fair person, very honest.